Well, did you check your PZEN wallet balance with your coffee this morning? I'm Conrad Zen, former Bitcoin Foundation member and now evangelist for PZEN, 100% DeFi, 100% trustless yield. It is a beautiful morning once again down here in the Caribbean. And look, I have it pretty good. And the whole point of life is to enjoy it, right? Time equals money equals life. And I'm coming out in this morning's rant against all the crypto influencers who have taken your life away. Because anytime an entity confiscates your money, they're actually stealing your life. And I'm telling you now, the list of crypto influencers on YouTube and Twitter is long and just unbelievably ridiculous that you guys keep falling for this same shit. Who would you rather listen to? Somebody who's actually created vast amounts of wealth and is giving you that knowledge for free? Or would you rather listen to some crypto influencer with, say, over 1 million subscribers, whose sole aim is to relieve you of the opportunity to enrich yourself and to live the life that you want to lead? And all they're doing is creating communities for their own ego and to enrich themselves. This nonsense has to stop. You have to wake up to what is actually happening in the world. And the world that you should be interested in is decentralized finance. Look, I'm the one that has been giving you all the information about what is happening in the crypto world, and specifically in the DeFi world space, so that you can do something about it. You can take control. You can take action, and you can opt out of this rotten financial system that we are in. In America, you live in a corporatocracy where the industrialists and the special interest groups and the lobbyists control where the money goes, and it ain't going into your pocket. The latest round of money printing over the last few years, around 92%, that is 92 cents of every dollar printed, went into the stock market. It didn't go into your pocket. It didn't go into my pocket. And look what's happened over the last couple of weeks with centralized finance. I implore you, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, and get the best alpha in crypto that there is out there. I have nothing to show. Yes, I can explain the opportunity that is PZEN, which I believe is the Great Reset tool. But more than that, I am the only person that seems to be able to give you the truth in DeFi, because my only aim is a social sharing of what everybody should know anyway. It just so happens that I seem to be able to digest all this information in a way that is bite-sized consumable for everyone else. And that's my sole game here. So I implore you, if you are subscribed to crypto influencers who started around 2000, after 2017, and they have over 1 million subscribers, unsubscribe from them. Because what the echo chamber does is, if you listen to a piece of their content, you just keep being shown the same content with the same content with the same bias, because that's what the algorithm does. You have to break free from all of this stuff. So some of the biggest stories this week I've covered in my morning rants, and also I explained the opportunity that is DeFi. I explained what the Fed plan is, how you can escape from all this in my latest live broadcast. A link to that video is below. So once again, I implore you now, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, and change your financial future. Pick your guru wisely. Okay, my rant is over. So PZEN, 100% trustless yield, self-custody. This is the future. Cathie Wood, yes, Cathie Wood, the famous ARK investor. You know, I don't think she gets everything right. In fact, I think she's going to be clobbered in the next cycle because her stock picking technique is to look at stocks that are focused on growth, and that's fine. And that works in an environment where you have low interest rates and the money printer going burr. Not so good if you actually want profit. And so, you know, compared to somebody like Warren Buffett, and as I said this in my video yesterday, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, his focus is on an entirely different strategy. He is looking for profits, not growth of the company, profits. And one of his most successful investing strategies has, and he states this quite clearly and loudly, is time and compound interest. And that's exactly what PZEN does. And it does it in a decentralized finance way. Remember, all the shenanigans that are happening, all the headlines that you're seeing, all the clickbait headlines that you're seeing on your crypto influencers YouTube channels are all about centralized finance. If you choose to give your coins, your tokens, to a centralized exchange like FTX, like Celsius, like Gemini, then you are taking a huge third-party risk, which is not what decentralized finance is all about. Decentralized finance is cutting out the middleman so that you merely interact with the code. Go and watch my videos on my channel today over the last few weeks, and you will get all the information that you need to actually take action and start to change your financial future. There's no doubt about that. So, other stories in the news this week, MetaMask. MetaMask came out with a new change to their privacy policy, stating that with the Infura RPC endpoint, which is the default endpoint in MetaMask, your wallet addresses are being recorded along with your IP. Now, why should that matter to you? Well, it matters greatly because the whole point of DeFi is it's supposed to be permissionless and is supposed to be censorship resistant. And so what this will allow authorities to do, possibly, is when you, say, cash out your crypto profits to an exchange, that can be traced back to you. Because on centralized exchanges, they have to do KYC, pretty much, mostly, which means that you are giving your real name and address. And they can trace backwards now, all the way through to your MetaMask wallet. So what do you do? It's very simple. I posted yesterday in my Twitter account a list of RPC endpoints that you can use in MetaMask for the tech gurus out there. But for the average person wanting to use MetaMask, it's very simple. Use a VPN and make sure you get a good VPN, okay? I can't recommend them because then I'd be shilling a product, wouldn't I? So I'm not going to do that. Just do your own research. And the thing about having a VPN is not for security. VPNs don't give you any security whatsoever. But what they do for you is give you privacy because they change the IP address dynamically, and therefore you cannot be traced. So, number one, if you're using MetaMask, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you are, just make sure that you're using a VPN. Connect to the internet via the VPN and then use your MetaMask for transactions. And then on that same note, don't forget, please make sure that you use a hardware wallet before you do any transactions. Go and get a Ledger or a Trezor. Some people prefer Trezor over Ledger. Doesn't matter. Just get one of them. And until you've got tens of millions of dollars in your MetaMask, wallets, it's good enough. Then you can, the higher the wealth, the more the risk, the more that you can do about it, multi-sig and all that sort of stuff. But for now, just go and get a hardware wallet. use a VPN, and then at least you'll be ahead of most people. The scammers will move on to the next easiest target. Going back to Cathie Wood, people made a big song and dance this week about the fact that the ARK Investment Trust actually went out and bought more shares of the GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And the reason that she's done it is very interesting, I think. First of all, I'm going to explain what the Grayscale Trust is. Basically, it's a vehicle whereby institutions can buy Bitcoin through a trust. Now, most companies, most institutions are not allowed to invest in Bitcoin. But having that vehicle created by Barry Silbert, the Digital Currency Group, allows institutions to invest in Bitcoin. And the problem is with that is it's trading at a 41% discount to the actual price of Bitcoin. It's supposed to be a share that is tied exactly to Bitcoin. So why is it that you can buy a share in GBTC at a 41% discount? Well, the problem is that it's great for institutions, not great for retail investors. But the problem is it's totally illiquid. Yes, you can buy the shares, but you sure as hell can't sell them because you're not allowed to sell the shares if they're trading at a discount, which they are, a 41% discount. So everybody was jumping up and down about why Cathie Wood bought more shares. Well, I'm not sure that she is going to come out of this smelling of roses at all. I don't have a crystal ball, so nobody knows exactly what's going to go on going forward. But it is a big, big risk that she's just taken. And why did she do it? Because she believes that the SEC is going to actually declare that Barry Silbert, with his Grayscale Trust, can convert it into an ETF. Now, the SEC has been saying for years, no, that's not happening. And their applications have been turned down right, left, and center the whole time. But if they manage to do that, it means that there is now a redemption path for institutional investors, which could greatly affect the buys and sells in real Bitcoin. The other risk I think that she's taking as well is that Digital Currency Group, the controlling group of the Grayscale share GBTC fund, came out and said that Coinbase had proved that they have the Bitcoin that the Grayscale Trust says they have. Well, Coinbase didn't do that at all. They came out and said they have X number of Bitcoin in their cold storage. They did not attribute that to Mr. Silvert's company. So that's a bit of a risk again. So those are the two big stories. Of course, the other story is FTX, the debacle that continues there. And of course, with the fall of Luna, the collapse of Luna, the collapse of 3AC, a fund which is purportedly invested heavily in Hex, by the way, allegedly. Then we had the collapse of FTX. And now we have the domino effect about what is going on. And we have Gemini, Genesis, and the Digital Currency Group all linked together. Why is this important? Well, the Digital Currency Group, Barry Silvert's little company, is a huge operation which owns so many ventures in cryptocurrency that should that go bankrupt, that really could have a major effect on the market cap of cryptocurrencies going forward. And here's what's happened. And again, go and check my previous videos, but I'll give you a bit of a recap because it is important to understand. Gemini is the exchange run by the Winklevoss twins. They offer a product called Earn, where they were giving you interest on your deposits. Why would you do that? Anyway, Genesis is the group that allowed them to do that. Now, Genesis, with their exposure to Three Arrows Capital and FTX, now has a 1.1 billion hole in their balance sheet. So, in order to keep them afloat, they were lent money by the parent company. So Barry Sobert's digital currency group gave them a loan of about 1.1 billion US dollars. But the twist about this is, and this is really complicated, but Genesis, which is the daughter company, actually lent money to the digital currency group. And what did they do with it? They bought their own shares. They bought shares in the GBTC trust. So the parent company, Digital Currency Group, has a liability to Genesis, which is about to go bankrupt. And so the shenanigans that could go on there are mind blowing, because the loan that they had to buy those shares was approximately 575 million US dollars. So they borrowed money from their daughter company to buy shares of their own trust. And that is redeemable in May 2023. Now, Barry Silvert's come out and said, well, that's absolutely fine. We are going to be making profits of about 800 million this year. And so nothing to worry about. Really? So here's two things that I would be worried about if I was anywhere near this group. Number one, that 800 million income projection is just a guess. He's written it down on the back of a napkin in the bar while he's drinking his whiskey. It beggars belief what is going on and the misinformation that retail investors are being fed. You have to understand that CeFi is really ruining the whole crypto space. And it needs to be regulated, and it will. And the darling of it all is going to be decentralized finance. Even Cathie Wood came out and said that out of the whole debacle that's going on with FTX and Genesis and Digital Currency Group, she saw a very, very bright future for decentralized finance. I'm not sure that she understands what that actually is, but I agree with her. And I also agree that a lot of VC firms in Silicon Valley are sitting on billions of dollars and they don't know what to do with it. And they have to earn yield. And what could be better than trustless yield? What could be better than a permissionless economy that is censorship resistant? DeFi is here to stay. Doesn't matter about all the bleak headlines that we've seen this week. DeFi is going to be the new economy. And for those of you who are in the opportunity that is PZEN, you are so early to the table. Look, you know how this works. You don't need anybody to sell it to you. You can see it. The coin balance in your wallet goes up every single morning with your coffee. And the only way, I think, and I don't have a crystal ball, this is just my opinion, the more people understand about this protocol, the more they will realize that this is the way forward for everyone. This is the way out of the rotten system that we find ourselves in. Look, things are getting bad on the economic front. They're about to get even worse. I've been saying this for months now about what we're about to endure, not just in the United States, but in Europe as well and in the UK. And, well, I go back to my original statement. Who would you rather take advice from? Somebody like me, the voice of reason in this dark and dismal world to show you a bright future? Or would you rather be entertained and lose your money by listening to the crypto gurus with hundreds of thousands of followers doing exactly the same thing, losing their money? My God, I listened to a very good debate on what was happening with the Digital Currency Group, hosted by a certain South African gentleman who in the same channel was promoting a link to a Bitcoin casino. And not only that, he was promoting a link to an exchange that does leverage trading where you can borrow 100 times your deposit and gamble away your money. This is not the premise and promise of decentralized finance. Please wake up, do your own research, but please be very, very careful about who you listen to out there. There are some very bad actors, but also there are other good guys. And so on that note, for my morning coffee rant, I will leave you and I wish you a pleasant and fantastic day. And the one thing that you can be really certain of is that your PulseN balance went up whilst we had this little chat. I'm just going to say a quick hello to a couple of people who joined. Crypto Kobe. Crypto Kobe has been following me for quite some time, and I'm sure that Crypto Kobe would agree that I have been giving advice that if people had followed, it has most definitely changed their life. Would you agree with that, Crypto Kobe? Who else do we have up here? Let's just say hello to a few people. PL8 Head says PZEN is awesome. Thank you, sir. Well, don't thank me. Thank yourself. You are the one that chose to interact with the code. You are the one that took action to change your financial future. I will see you in the next morning rant. Maybe even do an afternoon rant this afternoon. I'm on a roll here and I want to get some more information out that might not wait until tomorrow morning. So stay tuned. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter. Share, comment, and like all of the content. Oh, and I'm going to give another big shout out to a PulseN member called Toddy, who has created the PulseN Life in Second Life. Go and check that out. Second Life is like a 3D animation world, and it has been running for quite some time now. I used it years ago, thought it was a fantastic protocol. Then it's still running. It really is good fun, and it is another way of understanding and the world of DeFi and in particular PulseN. So go and check that out. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next broadcast. Slangy Bar.